It doesn't look like much. Cold, heavy, slightly dented. But this humble tin can has fed armies, built empires, survived world wars, gone to space, and somehow still ends up behind the peanut butter in your pantry. You're watching Once Upon a Dish where something delicious happened, and today we're cracking open the bizarre, brilliant story of a container that changed the course of human history. But don't be fooled, this isn't just about canned peas and tuna. This is about the long, strange journey of keeping food alive. Let's rewind to 1795. France is at war with practically everyone. Napoleon Bonaparte is racking up victories, but there's one thing he can't conquer: hunger. His troops are weak, tired, and starving, not because of the enemy, but because their food rots before they can eat it. So Napoleon does something radical for the time. He offers 12,000 francs, a fortune, to anyone who can figure out how to make food last. That challenge was accepted by an unlikely hero, Nicolas Appert, a Parisian confectioner with zero military experience, but a lot of curiosity. Appert began boiling food, meats, soups, vegetables, and sealing them inside champagne bottles with cork and wax. His neighbors thought he was crazy, but when his preserved meals stayed fresh for months, people started paying attention. Appert had discovered that heat kills bacteria decades before anyone knew what bacteria was. His method was messy, fragile, and not very portable. But it worked, and in 1810 he won Napoleon's prize and became the unintentional father of modern food preservation. That same year, across the Channel in Britain, Peter Durand patented something new: a food container made of tin-plated steel. A can. Durand's cans were tough enough for the battlefield, the sea, and eventually the shelf. Early versions were so thick, opening one was a full-body workout. Soldiers used bayonets, hammers, even rocks. Fun fact: the can was invented decades before the can opener. Imagine inventing the lock before the key. But once that problem was solved, cans took off. Fast. They marched with armies. They sailed with navies. By the mid-1800s, the British military, Arctic explorers, and gold rush prospectors were all eating from cans. And by the 20th century, the rest of the world joined in. In the World Wars, canned food kept millions of soldiers alive. It was calorie-dense, compact, and easy to transport. Canned meat, canned milk, canned everything. In the 1950s, supermarkets were lined with endless aisles of metal-wrapped miracles. NASA scientists borrowed preservation techniques from the military and adapted them for zero gravity. Astronauts floated above the Earth, squeezing pureed steak and mashed potatoes out of tubes, a futuristic descendant of Appert's boiling bottles. Today, cans are both celebrated and criticized. We worry about BPA, aluminium waste, and mystery expiration dates. We debate whether canned corn counts as a vegetable. And somewhere, someone's probably eating canned bread. So let's zoom out for a second. What started as a desperate wartime challenge became one of the most transformative inventions in food history. From Napoleon's battlefields to suburban cupboards, and even now, 2 centuries later, it still sits quietly on shelves everywhere, waiting for someone to pop the lid and continue the story. And hey, we want to know, what's your weirdest canned food experience? Was it delicious? Disgusting? Did it require tools? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe for more strange bites of history, and share this with someone who still thinks canned food doesn't count. Because here at Once Upon a Dish, something delicious always happened.